Hi guys, welcome back to some more action with Accrington. Hopefully, and potentially, this is going to be a bumper episode, maybe 40-45 minutes, and we're going to get through the rest of the season. That is my potential plan, but we'll have to see how we get on. If it looks like after half an hour we're nowhere near finishing the season, I'll stop and do another episode, but we're going to go straight into it with this game away against Bolton, who mixed form, well, really poor form, 2 draws and a defeat in their last 3. Lost to Bristol City, but respectable draws against Leicester and Birmingham, and it's a 0-0 draw. Friedrich and Alutza both sent off, so down to 9 men, and we got a draw. Buxton wants a bit more cash. So we'll see what Buxton wants. He's on $750 a week. He wants $1,500 for 1 extra year. Sod it, why not? We tie up his contract. We may want to sell him. We may not. I've dropped him down from being a crucial first team player to an important first team player, but he's got his wage rise. And we've now got Derby coming up. This is going to be a tough game. I think Derby are near the top of the table. We'll have a quick look at the table though. QPR, Watford, Southampton, Wigan, Leicester, Blackburn, Burnley, Hull, Reading, Sheff Wednesday, Accrington. Where are Derby then? Derby are second from bottom. Holy crap. Right, a couple of changes that need to be made, obviously due to suspensions. Lutzer out, Vizcarrondo back in, Friedrich out. I'm going to go with Milanov. Gale out. I'll go with Winter at the back. Yamin out. Struner. Smith. Go with Mingioa. Breveo, let's have you, and let's have Inaki Williams in. I'm sure he scored a couple in the last episode. But yeah, we'll get this. We'll try and get as much as we can done. Well, obviously, Christmas time. I want to get as much as I can done, and then maybe take a break. But then again, I might not. I might just roll straight into the next season. Hopefully, we can finish in the top half and we do get a decent bit of transfer funds. But Derby coming up there, we've got an early goal with Ward, but it's a 2-2 draw. Dow and Untuli with the goals. Hughes rescues a point for Derby. Not the ideal start. Two draws, but at the end of the day, we've not lost any games. I just need to keep on going. A top half finished. Buxton, not happy with the squad role. Okay, I knew that was potentially going to be an issue. In that case, I'm going to want you for 2 years at this wage, and I'm going to make you I'll make you a crucial first team player, but I want you on the 2-year deal. Right, Sheffield United coming up. I think after Hungary international management, not going to take that. Yeah, so after this Sheffield United game, we've got 16 left in the season. Untuli can come in. Meneses can also come in. Harder back on one side. Cabalas back on the other. Winter out for Gale. Derrick for Friedrich. Struner. Buxton. Milanov. We'll keep you in there, Milanov. Yeah, so we're not losing games, but we're not turning these potential draws into victories. We could change these draws into victories. Well, obviously, we'd be accumulating more points, be higher at the table. But for our first season in the Championship, mid-table is okay. Next season, I would expect us to push for promotion. 1-0 win. Cabalas, wow, missed a penalty. Friedrich sent off again, and Dow with the only goal. Buxton injured. Buxton has accepted his contract. He's out for 7 days. Friedrich suspended. Harder, thanks for playing so much, mate. You're in my plans for this season and next. So that win, ironically, the 2 draws kept us in 11th, but that win has only put us up to 10th. So it's not Not too bad, but obviously we do have our final scout report on Nick Ross here, and he is coming in next season as well. Overall is a 68. But it does mean we can look to potentially offload some of our older players. We have a game in hand here as well, which is interesting. We're in 11th with a game in hand, 45. If we win this game, we can go up to 8th, but there is an alarming gap. Now, see, those 2 draws that we've had have knocked us off where we could have been in the table. If we'd have got, say, 1 win out of those 2 draws, that'd have put us up to 47 points, and then winning our game here would have put us up to 50. There is a potential chance that we could hit the playoffs this season, but we need to start going on a run. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen if we're just drawing games and we're having players suspended. So, made the 1 change, and that's all I'm going to make for this game. We're away at Sheff Wednesday, who, well, unbeaten in 3, only conceded 3, scored 4, but only conceded 3. And yes, there was a clean sheet for them in one of the games, but we are looking to bounce on, or continue on from our unbeaten start as well. And we do 3-1, Milanov, Cabals and Meneses on the score sheet. Suspension is over for Friedrich, and Buxton, who was injured for 7 days, is now injured for 3 weeks. But we've got a bit of a break coming up, which is all good and wow. Tough game against Leicester. But we're doing okay. So they're asking me if Breveo will find the back of that. Unfortunately, Breveo isn't down to be in the starting 11 for this game. Actually, we'll go with Seeger and Meneses as Seeger is in form, and Thule wasn't so much, but we'll just have to see. And Thule, I think I am going to look to cash in on him. Make the changes for this match. I think on Thule's I am going to cash in, get rid. Well, it looks like we've got Seeger, we've got Meneses, we've got Inaki Williams, and we've got Breveo. Now, unless a major first loss, Kone sent off after 13 minutes, Vardy with 2, Anicha, wow, look at that, Anicha in their side. Seeger and Vizcarrondo with the goals. Unless a massive offer comes in for Breveo, and I'm talking 10 million, and I won't be selling him because he is going to be fantastic. There is our wonder kid in the youth system. So we need to think about him, but obviously he is too young right now. I think Breveo is the one to keep hold of, and I think Thule is the one to sell. Right, Chief Exec report. Dale, Weissmeyer and Nuricolo are all available to come in. Nuricolo is going to be between 76 and 84. He's going to be okay. He's 17. Weissmeyer, this was our kid that we found, and this is the wonder kid. It looks like a central defender. His overall at the moment isn't that great, but I mean, for a central defender, looking at that standing tackle to 54, that's pretty poor, to be honest. But if he's going to be between 87 and 93, who are we to argue? Bandowski's returned from injury, and we have a scout report. 80 max for Mard, rejects Blomqvist, reject him. Yeah, so we've got those 3 youngsters that I'm obviously not going to do anything with until May, then I'll sign them all up. Bristol City coming up in this game now. Cabalas, let's have you out for Smith. Harder, you can stay there. I'm going to go with Friedrich. Buxton still on the bench. We need to get rid of him for no defenders on the bench, so Milanov can move up to the bench. That's us all sorted, ready to go. So 9 minutes in, and we've got 5 games done. Maybe pushing it, we may be able to get it done. But while Bristol City lost their last 3 games in which they've played, they've lost them by conceding 3. So we need to score a few here to get our goal difference back up. It's a win, a 1-0 win. I'll take that at the end of the day. We're in 10th position now, 33 games played, 51 points. And Matty Gale wants to discuss his wage. Ooh. Matty Gale, you are one I do want to sign up. Where are you, Matty Gale? You've probably got a shit ton left on your contracts. I think I've just signed you to a new one. Matty Gale, $750 a week. You want 1,500 for 1 year. You can have that, mate. You can have. I'll tell you what. I'll give you 1,650, and you can be a crucial first team player. I just need to get you signed up. Right, Leyton Orient at home. Team that won last time. Leyton Orient lost 2 of their last 3. Draw with QPR in their last game. Respectable, that one. I suppose you could potentially call that a bit of a derby. So, yeah, good result there. Wow, Driver sent off after 2. Seagoat 1-0 up, and we win 4-1. Vizcarrondo and Harder with the other goals. Didn't help that Driver got sent off, and Dow looks like was injured. Let's hope this isn't too serious. 6 weeks for Ryan Dow. And the board have faith in me. I hope that doesn't mean I'm going to get sacked soon. To be honest, we're doing a fantastic job considering the team are in the top half of the table, as Matty Gale has accepted that contract. Always nice to tie up your decent players and get them a good base and a good wage. But wow, look at this! We're going to need to make a few changes here. Armstrong in, Milanov in, Winter will have you in, Struner you in, Caballos, let's have you in, Lutzer can come back in. I'm going to go with Scuadone. Where are you, Scuadone? There you are. I'm going to give him the game. Right, Breveo and Bentuli both getting the chance in this game. It's got to be Mingioa there. I really would have preferred not to have put such a weakened team out for this game against Blackburn, as they are in 7th and we are in 10th. A win here will put us on the same points as them. They're in mixed form, playing a 4-1-2-1-2 wide, although that looks more like a 4-1-3-2 to be honest. And it's a 2-1 win. Fuck yeah. Marshall missed a penalty for Blackburn, but Mingioa and Caballos, both my wingers, on the score sheet. Mingioa scored in the same minute that Marshall missed a penalty. That puts us up to 7th in the table. Holy shit. 35 games, 57 points, 2 points out of the playoffs. Holy fuck, could this end up being a bumper 1 hour episode with the playoffs? Oof, tough game against Leeds coming up though. We are doing very well. I am confident with the team and I'm confident with the players that we have in the starting 11. The reserves are starting to come on a little bit, so we're just going to have to see what happens. Meneses is wanting to play in this coming match. Vizcarrondo and Milan are the only 2 players we have leaving international duty. That is good news in terms of squad rotation. Gale can go back in. Yeah, it's good Grant a game. Rivero hasn't been playing well, whereas Meneses has, so we'll have him there. Seager, Williams off the bench, Breveo on the bench. Chamo Harder, yeah, let's get you back in. For Mingioa, Grant, Lutzer, Caballos. Yes, we'll stick with that midfield 4. I don't think I'm going to make any changes also when it comes to formation if and when we hit the Premier League. The 4-4-2 is working well. I know most teams are doing the older, the 4-2-3-1, but I like the 2 strikers. Hopefully our wingers in this game can cause Leeds a problem as they're playing a narrow 4-1-2-1-2. Two-all draw. We're unbeaten. Actually, no, we're not unbeaten. Leicester beat us, didn't they? So only 1 defeat. Meneses is probably going to say thanks. Yep. And we need to move on. Dropped to 9th in the table. Still only 3 points behind the playoffs, which is the most important thing. And I'm hoping the game hasn't frozen here. It's saying stopping sim, but nothing's happening. And it's not doing a goddamn thing. So, please don't be the end of everything. Although it looks, yeah, it looks like it's crashed, which is not ideal. Is this going to get it out? There we go, hopefully. It's brought it back. Right. Fingers crossed, thank God for that never happens again, but that was a slightly worrying time there. Didn't want to have to lose everything and redo it, as we've been having a good start. One for the future, Jose Antonio Meneses of Accrington, it's saying. Right. This Corondo is still knackered. Seeger. Let's go with Seeger. Let's have a bit of. There's 2 CDMs there. I know we don't have a lot of attacking prowess in that midfield now, but I want, especially as it's Birmingham, I want the 2 defensive players in there. We need to look to sneak the game 1-0, 2-1 maybe at a push. We need to not concede many. We have a decent keeper. 2-1 win, and Thule proving that he should still be in my plans and not be sold. And is this Millwall coming up? It's going to get interesting the final few games. Millwall won 1, drawn 1, lost 1 of their last 3. And it's a draw. Winter with the goal, and Briggs getting a point for Millwall with 12 minutes to go. Shane Smith, yes, I will look to sell you, mate. Press conference I'm going to do nothing with. Reachlow has gone down. I may have to just... Yeah, I'm going to release him. Physically strong. Weissmeyer, look at that standing tackle, that's beautiful. All ready for a 16-year-old. Heading accuracy could be quite good. He's got the strength. And this guy's also going to be physically strong, but he's just overall, he's just not got anything there as Anik Dale, and that is a slight worry. What has our scout found? He's found nothing. Marcus Soderberg, you can go away. Right, so Ignacio Licht, one for the future from PSG. Right, Middlesbrough coming up. Time to make some changes. Briveo, Seeger, Vizcarondo back in, and we'll go with Calandra, give him a game. Smith, you want to play, so you can play. Gale out, Bandakowski in. Friedrich, Milanov, Gamin. It's nice that we've got so many players that are around the same sort of rating, so therefore we can bring new players in and we can rotate the squad well and not have to worry about dipping from a 70 rated central defender to a 60, because all ours are roughly around the same. But obviously I'm going to need to keep the rotation going to keep them all happy. 2-1 defeat. Tamo Harder gets a goal back, but Ledbetter with a penalty and Clayton. And that drops us down to 10th in the table. It is very, very congested in the middle of the table. We need to get a win and get back on track. Oh, wow, I can't believe we're in 2018. Playoffs would be nice, but I don't know if that's potentially overachieving for us. Right, Mingioa can come back. Payne, it's saying, can play there. Grant in. Gale back in. Derek and Alex Winter back in. And Thule and Meneses back in as well. If I have time at the end of the episode, I will do a squad report, but obviously I'm going to try and get the season finished. And looking at it now, This is the 40th game, so there's only 6 games after this one, so I think we will get the season finished. Bournemouth, wow, look at that. Conceded 1 goal in 3. And in this one, they concede 2. Meneses back in the starting lineup. Stanislas with the goal. And that puts us only up to 9th, but 1 point. Let's see how crowded we are. So Leicester in 5th have 67 points, and it's down to Blackburn in 10th who have 65. So you have 6 teams separated by 2 points, and you have a massive gap to Brighton in 11th, and otherwise going up Burnley in 4th, 4 points. So you could realistically say that there's 6 points separating 4th to 10th, and you'd be going, okay, right, Breveo wants to discuss his wage. This guy I need to sign up as well. 3 grand, he's on. Okay, and he wants 3 grand. I don't know. Or is he going to come back and say, I want to leave the club? The answer will be yes, if we get 10 million for you minimum. Hungary will probably come around and say they don't want me to manage them now as I've not answered them. Brighton is a game coming now that we need to do. Dow is okay to play. Yeah, contracts, you'll be moving on after you've got 3 years left on your contract, and then you'll be moving on. Well, you won't be moving on when your contract has run down. You'll be moving on when I see fit, and that will potentially be in 2 seasons' time after you've hopefully bagged 25 goals one season and got us in the Premier League. But Brighton coming up now. 6 games to go. They've lost 2 of their last 3, so hopefully they can lose this one. But they get a win. Shock horror. And that may have done our chances of getting into the playoffs. That may have shafted us, but we've got Southampton coming up. This is a game we need to stamp our authority and get something from. Harder back in. Smith back in. Lutzer in. Bandikowski in. Friedrich in. Stroom to get you in. My keeper's out of form. That is a slight worry, but there's nothing much. As soon as I can't hit the playoffs, I may put in the young keeper. I may not. Obviously, I want Lowe to improve, and I want him to get better and better and better. So him having the game time is most important. 1-1 draw at home to Southampton. Down to 10th, and there's now a gap. Wigan and everyone else has gone up to 70 points. We're stuck on 66. Press conference. Accrington motivate my team, especially against this very, very local derby against Burnley. But it's been a good first season. Yes, the playoffs were on the cards for a little while, but obviously not that much. Tim Payne in. Dow's back. Gale's back. Winter's back. Yeah, so there was a squeaky chance we could hit the playoffs, but that has obviously gone out the window. Wow, Burnley won their last 3, only conceded 1 goal. What's going to happen here? It's a 4-1 Burnley win. Yeah, that's definitely us not hitting the playoffs now. Milanov wants to speak to me about something. Okay, you're still not feeling at home. I don't care, mate. To be honest, you've been here God knows how long. But I suppose if someone comes in for him, I can only really say yes and let him go. I'm potentially happy to let him go. Right, and Thule in. Meneses is in form, but I'm going to put Williams in. Grant. Well, all our midfielders are in shockingly bad form. Derek. We need a win to turn this round and see what we can do with the final few games, but It's not looking good. Stuck on 66 points. 7 points behind the playoffs with 3 games to go. Chances of hitting the playoffs have gone, but we're just going to have to see what happens. Hull now, well, unbeaten in 3, only conceded 1. Didn't need this end to the season. 0-0 draw. Okay, I'll take that against Hull. I'm sure Hull are there or thereabouts. They're in 6th place, so we haven't slipped up anymore. Watford coming up. Yes, could have done with this more of a difficult finish towards the end of the season, just basically not having it and having a bit of slightly better running. Breveo about leaving the club. Okay, mate, sure you're less adamant about leaving. Wish I'll just have to see. Right, Antuli out, Meneses in, Williams out, Seeger in, Vizcarrondo and Seeger in, Taro Harder back, Gale back, stick with that too. Yeah, I was wondering about the size of the squad and maybe we could trim some players, but I'm thinking the size is adequate. We are now, as the clubs are, the games are getting thick and fast towards the end of the season, we are potentially lacking a bit of depth, especially in central midfield, but obviously we have 2 players coming in. One's rated 68, but he's more of an attacking player. 2 on defeat here. One's an attacking player, one is just straightforward central midfield in Butterfield, isn't it, who's in the 70s. So sort of swapping him with Vizcarrondo when I need to, just rotating them two. I'd like both of them in, but rotating them two and then having Skuadone, Alutza, Dow, all in central midfield alongside them is potentially a way to go. QPR coming up. Right, Shane Smith, yes, I know you want to be sold. Okay, so Anik Dale has gone up to 65 to 69. His standing tackle's going up, so either they've heard me or well, these guys are both going to be fantastic central defenders for us. We'll look to sign them up as soon as we can. Press conference. Motivate my team. And Wiltcown, what have you got for me? 87 max, Jacob Larsson. Let's sign you up. 66 max, reject. And QPR coming up. Nearly at half an hour, so yeah, the final game of the season is this one. We can't go up, we can't go down. So we're gonna go Williams and Meneses. We're gonna go with Ballatone, Seeger, Dow, Harder I'll keep in. Gonna go with Armstrong. We're gonna go with Winter. Palinard will give you the game. I'm just looking at the potentially some of the young guys to bring in and just give them this last game. Calandra, yeah, let's have you on the bench at least for Grant. We can't go up any further in the table. We can't go down any further. So the last game, we are at home. It's just to give them some experience, especially Pelinard. Just hopefully it gives him a little boost. Just I don't know how much it actually does because he's only playing 1 game, but we'll have to see. 2-0 win for QPR. Tournament prize money with the board giving him 26 grand. Holy crap! Right. I'll get to June, and then once in June, I will. I'll sign up the 2 youngsters, and then we've got them in the squad for next season. And then, yeah, I said I'd maybe do about a 40-minute episode, so I will carry on and get into next season so we can sort of see what's going to happen with transfer budgets, etc., etc. And I may see whether we can sell them to Lee or someone like that. Yes, these two there, so they've both got a big boost. Larson has gone up to an 88 potential. Nice. Vilkham, who else do you have? 87, Halberg, sign you up. 89, sign you up. 94 for a keeper, holy crap. Shane Smith, yes, I know you want to be sold. Right, how are we doing? Right, 190,000 and 2 grand. I don't want youth staff, I want youth players, youth academy. Holberg, we don't know. We see these three, we don't know where they're going to play. Weissmeyer, I'm going to sign you up off a contract. Dale, off a contract, but I want to get you. These other three, I'm going to give them a month. I suppose I don't really have to sign them straight away as they're not the main ones. Dale has accepted his contract, which is always good news, and Weissmeyer has accepted his contract. Rattling through June. So, with Dale and Weissmeyer in, they are both central defenders. That's going to give me a nice couple of extra central defenders. Do I need to sell anyone? 67 and 68 for these two central defenders. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 central defenders now. See, Milanov, I think, unless Milanov can play, he can play right back as well. Weissmeyer, just play centre back. Winter can play anywhere across the back, can't he? Winter is a useful player to have. So Milanov, I'm going to add to the transfer list. Derek and Friedrich, I want to keep them my main two. Dale and Weissmeyer will be back up with Winter, who can play anywhere across the back line. Bandowski may be on the move as well, because he's on 10 grand a week and I think I can use that money elsewhere. We've got Gale, and then Winter can also play left back. Arrived from Dortmund for 625,000. We'll see what happens. Struner is on the transfer list anyway. Buxton, I may sell Buxton as well because he's 26. And Gavin is only 22 and he's 70. Dow, Lutzer, Scuadone. Scuadone is on the transfer list. Obviously we've got Seeger, who's younger and rated better. Ballatone is also on the transfer list. Calandra is going to go on the transfer list. Grant may go on the transfer list. Payne is already on there. Vizcarrondo will not be. Tamo Domingo is transfer listed. Caballos may be transfer listed as well. Gunn is going to go on the transfer list. Smith wants to go on the transfer list, and I'm happy to let him go on the transfer list. I can look for right backs. Breveo, no. And Thule may go. Well, we'll have to see. He's 27, isn't he? So I think now is the time to cash in on him. But we'll have to see, and then use that money and buy a striker, buy a young striker. Milanov, I'm happy to stay. Well, that's ironic because I've just put you on the transfer list. End season. Super season, domestic cup, excellent showing. Fantastic. Let's advance. So, rumours end as Milanov stays put. Milanov, you're not staying put. You're leaving. You're on my transfer list. I'm looking to cash in and see if I can get a few 100,000 for you. Be nice if the board give us at least £1 million in transfer funds, but we shall have to see. We have a fair amount of youth talent from Sweden that's still there that we can do something with. But yeah, the board need to start coughing up some finances. I didn't want to do the takeover. I think the suggestion was right. Doing the takeover when you hit the Premier League, the chairman's just pumped a load of money into the club, rather than doing it either halfway through a season or just, I don't know. Accrington are obviously one of those teams that have come up from League Two, so therefore the philosophy is they've not got much money. The chairman's going to be frugal. He's going to be really thinking about the finances of the club. So yeah, I think there will definitely be a financial takeover when we hit the Premier League, and it will be used to strengthen the squad. It will be used as if the club had gone through a takeover and the money was there to strengthen the squad. Whereas obviously if we'd used the financial takeover now, it would have been used more towards youth. I think sometimes there is the call to use a financial takeover at the start of the game, but only to use it to buy your youth scouts, and then to just invest thoroughly in youth. There is that one. I may do that one in another series. I may start with someone else. Maybe do another York City one, and just do the transfer takeover, and pump all the money into youth and get 3 5-star youth scouts, and I can only buy free agents with the and I can only use the rest of the money for youth. But obviously, because I've got 3 youth scouts, they'll be going out, and I can just get a mass influx of youth players. That may be something to do. It could be quite fun, that. Or even potentially doing that with someone like, I don't know, Blackburn. Something like that. You just use the financial takeover and it can only be used for youth. You can't buy anyone, or you can't buy anyone over 5 million and 20 grand a week. We'll have to see. It depends obviously how it. I'm hopefully going to be with Accrington for a few more seasons. One for your future, Max Mertage. Okay, I haven't got a pen on me. I wrote that name down. He's only 18. He's a fullback though. We don't really need a fullback. I do need a right midfielder, especially with Smith on his way out. Aston Villa in pole position to land Briveo. They were put in pole position to land Ntuli, and they never bothered to come in with a bid for him. Briveo, I think I remember correctly, was down as a. I think was he down as 2 million or 1.3? I think he was 2, and Ntuli was 1.3. It could have been the other way around. But anyway, I'm going to want a significant wedge for him, because I'm going to have to replace him. Because of his youth and everything, I will need to replace him with someone good, and maybe someone not as youthful, but potentially a little bit higher on the ratings. Right, here we go. I'm not going to have a look yet. I'm going to go forward until the 1st of June, and when the transfer window is open, I know it'll stop. Well, it should do, because we'll get the message from the chief exec saying the transfer window is open. And I'll then have a look at everything. We'll do a little squad report. We'll do how much money we have for transfer funds. Hopefully, because we hit the 1st of June, there are a few transfer offers. But we shall have to see. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit longer now to go through and hit the 1st of July, which is a bit of a ball ache. But what I can do, guys, obviously this episode is coming out on the 23rd of... I was going to say 23rd of Christmas, but 23rd of December. Christmas just a couple of days away. Fingers crossed, guys. there will be a new series out tomorrow, Christmas Eve. It's a Football Manager one. It's a little bit different, but again, I suppose it's not really that different. It's just something I've been playing it whilst I've been at work on my breaks and stuff, and I'm halfway through a season with a team, and I was just going to do like two episodes per season. It's a European club. They've got a winter break, so we're at the winter break. So I was going to try and do that, but I've been playing it on my Mac, so I need to move it. I need to move the file from, if I can do it, from my MacBook to my PC, where I've got my recording, my Camtasia software on, and I need to try and do that. If I can do that, then it'll just be an update, be about a 20-minute update, run through the squad, who we are, where we are, players we've got, and how the games have gone so far. It'll be that sort of thing if I can do it, and that'll hopefully, I'm going to look to record that today, which is we are on the 23rd today. I'll hopefully be recording that tonight, and I'll get that up and out on Christmas Eve, and then we'll have to see where everything fits in terms of the next episode for Accrington. It may not, obviously Christmas Day, but I may look to get one out for the 27th for Accrington, but we'll have to see. But right, let's have a look at these. 87 max, 93 max. He's interesting. And goalkeeper. I don't want to keep him for a season and then bump him up, or we'll see what happens with those guys. Vilcam has another scout report. 94 max. Sign him up. 78. No, 89, sign him up. Quaison, no. Blomqvist, no. Pre-contract for Butterfield and Ross, they've both arrived. Transfer market now open. Cup objective, round of 32. Season's budget, 875,000. Okay. £4,000. Yeah, I suppose we haven't got that much wage because of the players coming in. No one to finish mid-table again. Okay, that's interesting. So we're down to 3. Yeah, we're down to 3,000 because I've signed those 2 players. So if I put all that over to wages, in case there was a decent free transfer, that would give 19,000. I'm going to do a quick search for one player, because I'm always interested to see, and I do this every time, something that someone made clear to me that could be quite good. And that is Ibrahimovic's regen, which is still not there, but yeah. You keep an eye out every season and look for Ibrahimovic's regen. If you can find it and it's there, then it's someone decent to buy. Right, quick squad report. I'm not going to go through all the stats on the right hand side when this eventually loads. But yeah, so Pelinard is at 1 to 65, Gamin at 1 to 71. Milanov hasn't moved, but hopefully he's on his way out. Winter hasn't moved. Maybe it's, yeah, I suppose he's back up the Wisney, so we can keep him. Armstrong 64, Dow 71, Seager 68, Bartoni 60, Harder 70, Meneses 64, Inaki Williams at 1 to 65, Calandra 67, Scordone 67, Briveo 72, Lowe 75, Friedrich 73, Seager 70, Cabala 68, Butterfield 2.1 million he's valued at, yes, 72, Derek 74, Payne 66, Buxton 64, Caliguri 59, Alutza 70, Smith 68, Vizcarondo 73, Afobe 60, Gale 73, Gunn 55, Weissmeyer 69, Dale 67, and Dooley 71, Grant 68, Banowski 69, Struner 66, Ross 69, Mingyoa 62, And that's it. One thing I do actually want to do in the squad. Where are you, my two new signings? I want to see Butterfield. Can you play? You can play cam and centre mid. Ross, you can play cam, left mid or centre mid. Nicely done. So guys, yeah, coming up, it's 45 minutes now, so I'll call it a day there. Bumper episode. Merry Christmas to one and all, and I'll catch you after Christmas. Thanks for watching. Cheers.